do a quick demonstration on how to use the IMCs for distance measuring. What I'll be doing is counting different sheets, how many sheets, and be able to understand if there's not enough sheets or too many sheets. So first I'll just connect to the PLC over Ethernet IP. I do have these 3 sheets. Material thickness is 0.8 millimeters for the sheets. And see, now I have 3 sheets. Now we'll say the OK condition is to have 2 sheets, and the NG condition is to have 1 or 3 sheets. So we'll just open up our PLC program, get everything loaded. And now I'll try to understand what our ports I've already used on my SICK 350. Now I'll go to memory, and I'll go ahead and go to the D register 13,000, because I know that that's where my IO link data is coming into. They go on the monitor. I can start to see the data coming in over IO link. So I'll go ahead and just plug in the sensor, and we should easily be able to determine where the data is going to. So now you see that D13020 and 21 have changed. So by plugging it and unplugging it, it's very easy for me to look at it and say, okay, this is where my data is coming into. Now just come down here and grab an Excel file. That way I remember where it's going into, and I don't have to keep going back and forth. I can just write this down in Excel real quick and understand exactly where it's coming to. Now I can minimize this, and I can go ahead and just start to write some simple code. What I'll do also is just copy this. This is my byte swap that I'll need to be doing to get the process data into usable data. I'll paste that. Then I want to just make sure that my comments, when I look at my program, I can easily identify what is happening in this section of the ladder. And I'm just putting the sensor numbers of what it's going to, because I have 2 different masters here, and to what port. That way if I do end up unplugging this for a different demo or something, I know exactly where to plug it back into. Now I'll take that D13021 and I'll move it into a different word. And that'll be D7563. And then I'll do the byte swap. Go ahead and send those changes. And now I should be able to see exactly that the data swapped, right? What it's coming out as. And I'll go ahead and open up a watch window as well, so that I can see that data there as well. And I'll go ahead and move it into decimal. That way I can actually see it. That way I don't have to convert hexadecimal to understand what the data is. Now what I'll do is just move the sheets and put them back in to understand what my window needs to be programmed. So you can see the data changing there depending on how many sheets I have underneath the sensor. So I'll just go ahead and just grab my Excel file back, and I'll note down what the values are depending on how many sheets I have. And I'll just check it again to make sure that those numbers are repeatable. Now I'll just go up here and grab some comparison instructions that I've used in earlier code, instead of having to type everything back in. Now I'll just use a random output. I made a mistake there and used instruction instead of coil. I'll just use a random unused output so that I can see it illuminate when I have the correct amount of sheets underneath the sensor. And what these values are is my tolerance, my plus or minus tolerance to be able to stay within that range. And what I did is 150 digits plus and minus from the value that I had to give it that window. And what I did here is I understood that it wasn't working like it was supposed to. I had my greater than and less than swapped to according to what I had previously. So I'll just go ahead and swap those real quick. And you can see if you don't have a very stable target, depending on how stable it is and how wide your windows are, so that's very critical to make this work with hard values like that. Now, I hope that helps, and let me know if you have any questions.